Okay, how's everybody doing? We are going to be trying out a new set of lights today. This company reached out to me back right around Christmas time, wanted to know if I wanted to try out some of their products. And I emailed them back and said, you know, we're real busy here right now. Why don't you get a hold of me back after the first of the year? That they did. So I looked through their product list, and the main thing that stuck out to me was a set of off-road lights. I figured I could use them on any piece of equipment. And so we're going to open up this package here. The name of this company is NAO, N-A-O. They make all kinds of lighting and whatever, so look them up. They sent me this stuff through Amazon. So we're going to go ahead and open these up. Now the lights I picked out, I think they were 7-inch, 5-inch or 7-inch. Just regular off-road lights, and what we're going to do is we're going to put them on the back of that Diller trailer. So I didn't get them with any special wiring or anything because we're going to use a toggle switch, which is, I'll show you the truck here. All right, so that's the road tractor that'll be getting used on this trailer. There's a wire plug that plugs into the front of the trailer that's powering the power pack on the back of this trailer to run the swing boom, and then we've got a charge wire and some other wires in there to run other things, and one of them is a power wire for these work lights that I put on this trailer several years ago, and it's hooked to a toggle switch that's in the cab. So that's how we're going to be turning these new lights on and off. Now these are just a regular tractor implement light. I put these on here several years ago. I mean, you could tell by the fading of this red wire here that they've been on there for quite a little while. They're just mounted from the little angle bracket in through the mud flap bolt. They were just mounted on there fast. We only need these lights to shine onto an area that we're backing into to load manure, which is on either side in the back here. So we're going to be rewiring a few things here. I'm going to mount these new lights right up on that. There's a hex nut welded to the side of the tank. We're going to make a bracket off the side of the tank, and we're going to mount these lights something like that instead of Okay, the lights come with the mounting hardware. I've got one light, I've got the bracket is all mounted to the light. Now, I was just kind of screwing around, seeing which way I wanted to put this bracket on. This bracket here on this light, I haven't mounted it yet, but that is mounted opposite than the light right there. You can flip this bracket around. I would advise flipping it around. Well, it doesn't really matter, but it is adjustable. Now, you could put it on either way and get quite a range of adjustment out of that light. But the way I have the bracket mounted on the trailer, I've got the adjustment that I need there. Now there's nuts that slide back and forth in this U channel here. They came in the light, and then these bracket pieces here came in a baggie. So I'm going to go ahead and put the one Allen screw in the one side, and now we're putting the other one in the other side. Alright, so we've got them fasteners in there now. Now this one, I've got this one is fixed. This one is centered. I've got the bracket centered. And I've got the bracket slit all the way up to the point where I want it fixed to. So they furnish a 5/16 or an 8mm stud here, and then that can't turn because of the way it's set into this channel here. So this one is mounted loose right now, and it'll give you some degree of rotation here depending on how you have it mounted. If you were mounted right there, you'd be able to, get some range of motion as far as how much you want to adjust it. Now I'm choosing to mount this mount in the center of the light, obviously, but I'm going to push this bracket all the way up to the mounting cap screws that are in the light. Therefore, the light's not going to have a lot of leverage on this bracket. It's going to have a lot of leverage that way to possibly break this mounting bracket. So I'm going to choose to mount that there like that. We'll just set up a tape measure here and we'll get it somewhat centered. And then I've got some degree of motion with the bracket that's already on the trailer. So we're centered here now. I'm going to tighten this up. I don't need any adjustment on this light. I mean, you could slide this bracket back and forth to mount your light in any orientation you want. So that's tight. Now we're going to go ahead and set the lights on the back of the trailer. Now I did fail to mention, these are considered a 7-inch light, meaning they are 7 inches. You'll need 7 inches of room from either side to mount them. They're 240 watts, and I will put a 20% off discount code in the description, and every once in a while I'll run it through the video at the bottom of the screen here. So put that code into your Amazon order, and you'll get 20% off just from this code here. So I'm not getting paid anything to do this. They just sent me these lights, wanted me to do a review on them. I've got a spot to put them, so I got a set of free lights just for doing this, and we're gonna offer you guys the 20% off code. So we're gonna mount these on the trailer, do up the wiring, and try to wrap this up. Alright, we have this side all wired. I grounded it back to the tank of the trailer. I didn't have any 14 gauge 2-wire. If I had some 14 gauge 2-wire, I ran 2-wire right from this light all the way down and around and hooked it into the wire coming down the frame of the trailer. However, I didn't have, so this is the way I did it. Now, I've got to get the old lights off in there. The light is grounded back to the frame, and then I have just regular the heat shrink style butt connectors that I've used. You want to use good materials here to fasten these lights. Now I didn't get the plug kit or anything like that because we're hooking them up fast like that. So I used the hot wire going to the old light. I've got to get this old light off in there. Here's the hot wire here. Now I came down through the frame of the trailer, down through here, up through like that, and I used a three-way 3M connector. Now that's hooking 3 wires together. I got 1 wire coming back to frame rail, through the frame rail. It's a 14 gauge 2 wire, and it's branched off in a Y like that. Okay, what I could have done is just use one of these doohickeys here. You just open it up. You can't do it with 2 hands. I mean, I could have used a Scotch lock, years ago when I put this on there, and that's just one of these things. You just clip it on the wire like that, and then you bring your other wire over into it like this. Shove it in the side. I got it coming in the right side. I don't have it coming in the right side. There's a blunt end on there. You bring it in there, you crimp it, and you're golden. But these are junk. These should not be used in this type of environment because they just corrode, and after a while, that's going to be your first spot that's going to fail on you. You're going to get a bad connection. These 3M connectors like this here, this one has been together now for at least 4 years, and it's got dielectric grease on the inside of it, and it seals itself right up, and you won't have any problems with corrosion like you would these. I don't even use these things anymore. Yeah, they're junk. I had to look hard to find one of these, and this has been kicking around for years. But I would not use these Scotch locks. I can show you a 3M connector. Here is the 3M connector here. You would use this where you'd want to splice in. Say you want to splice in right here, you just cut that wire there, push in this one side, and there's 3 spots to go into here. You push the one wire in, push the other wire in, and then you'd push your wire in that's going to go to your light, for example, and then just squeeze this together, and you can use these underwater. They will not corrode. They will not. I mean, you can see that one's been in this type of environment now for quite a while. You could see how long it's been in on this unit. The wires are even faded here, and that has not failed. This wire here, however, I've got to put a new butt connector on that. That's just the ground wire is all. So we'll get a butt connector on there. We'll clip this wire on this side. We'll run this hot wire up to that left side like I did on the right side, and we'll finish this job up here. Alright, we've got the left side wired in too, and the left and the right side's all wired in. The lights are probably not quite adjusted where they need to be, but we'll have to wait till it gets dark and get them adjusted to where you want them to shine. Again, this is to be able to back into where we load, and the load spot on this manure tanker is right there. So we're going to run up front here. Now again, this trailer gets used on that truck. That truck has a toggle switch in on the dash to power those lights, and we end up just plugging in this wire harness here. We plug that wire harness there into the front of the trailer here. It's got just a backwards trailer plug on it. Actually, there's 2 plugs on here. We ran out of options on that one and had to add this one. So I'm just using a 12-volt jump pack. I think that's still hooked up. plugged into the appropriate wire there. We'll go ahead and turn this on, and now we've got lights powered up on the back of the trailer here. I don't know how well we're going to be able to see everything. There's quite a bit of glare from the windows outside, and then I probably shouldn't be standing here like that with the lights shining directly into the camera. But as you can see, they're pretty bright, but it's daylight out now, so we've got the light shining in from outside. You know, so you're not going to be able to see a lot, but it looks like they're almost adjusted right with each other. They're both shining on that 2x10 there on the overhead storage, loft, mezzanine, whatever you want to call it there. So they're probably working in the right spot there, so we can come back to this in several days when it's dark, whatever. We'll revisit this when we can actually see them lights working in the dark of night, and then we'll of course use them for a few weeks here and see how we like them, and we'll go from there. So I mounted them quickly. I used the wires that were feeding the work lights that I put on this trailer several years ago, which all these are is just a Tractor Supply fender light for a tractor. I've got the stud whipped around backwards as far as I could get it, and the light would actually mount on a flat fender. Again, we just used them so that we could get into the work area, or to see the area where we're loading manure. Ran a wire to the back of the trailer. I used a 3M connector. That's the original 3M connector that I used years ago, and that's that unit right here. I would advise using these connectors anytime you have to splice 3 wires together. Use the 3M connectors. They're a little bit more money. You can pick them up about anywhere in Napa or wherever. Do not use these Mickey Mouse things. These things are junk. The first spot that you're going to have trouble if you use these Scotch locks is going to be right here in this connector. They're Mickey Mouse connectors. You maybe could get away with using them under the dash of a pickup in a dry environment. You want to splice in like a trailer brake plug or something like that, but we don't even use these anymore. They're freaking junk. The plastic's crap. They're junk. I use regular heat shrink style butt connectors. I would advise using them as well. That limits the amount of material that can get into that connector and corrode it. So use your shrink lock connectors. You can shrink them with a lighter, propane torch, what have you. Use good components when you mount something like this, and they'll last. So we'll revisit this in a couple weeks here, and we'll get a true opinion of how these lights are. Again, these lights, you can pick them up on Amazon. I'll put a link in the description. These lights are, the brand is NAO. That's how it's pronounced. It's almost pronounced NAO, N-O-W, NAO, but it's the correct spelling of the brand of light is N-A-O, NAO. So with that being said, we'll revisit this and when it's dark out, and we'll see how these things work out. Okay, we are in the shop right now. It is the following morning. I got the lights on in the back of the shop. We're gonna shut them lights off, run over and turn the jump pack on quick, and see what the lights look like on the back of the trailer here. Let's get this thing turned on quick here. Well, there we go. That's with the lights on the back of the trailer inside the shop. Now we're going to go ahead and hook up to this trailer, and we'll back in down to the lagoon. We'll see how they work outside. So we've got a toggle switch that's running right down here at the floor that'll flick them lights on. Now we have the lights on the trailer, and then this is what will enable us to be able to see backing in to load manure, for example. It doesn't work running lights off the tractor because it ends up blinding you when you're backing in. So I think these are going to work pretty good. They're pretty good and bright. We'll go ahead and jump in the truck and we'll see what we can see from the mirror here. And that's what things look like through the mirror, and the mirror's kind of dirty. But that gives us the ability to be able to see that pipe there. I'll shut the light. There's the lights are off right there, and you can't see nothing. It's just kind of a guessing game as far as trying to get that load pipe lined up and into the trailer for either loading at night. You know, we might try to sneak a load out when it's just starting to get dark at night, or first thing in the morning. We will try to get going a little earlier, and it's just always a pain that first or last load. You know, again, there's a toggle switch on the floor, and it's got a little light indicator on that to let us know that that switch is on, and then you're not leaving the lights on, you know, running down the road during the day or something. All right, we've had the lights on this trailer for a while now. It's probably been a month or so. We sprayed the back of this trailer off so that we could do some work to it. So I'll drop a link in the description down below where you can go ahead and order these lights on Amazon. Again, they are, the brand name is NAO, N-A-O, and they are a 7-inch light. And if you use the code in the description down below, I can put the description down below the frame in the video here too. You get 20% off on your Amazon order. When you go to purchase these, if you choose to purchase them on Amazon, just before you get to the page, I guess it's the page where you enter your credit card information and whatever, scroll down a little farther, and that's where you can type in the code, and you'd get 20% off for these lights. We've got this trailer back in the shop. Now we're putting a new electric hydraulic unit on the trailer. We bought a fender that goes on the left-hand side. I had this fender on there. We put the electric pump and hydraulic valve in the toolbox, with the fender and the toolbox is what we just put on. And then we're going to take off the unit that's on the back. That's where these units were installed originally, is on the back of the trailer, and they just get all goked up with salt and whatnot. So that unit still works, but it's rusted up pretty good, and we've had trouble with corrosion on the wires and whatnot. So we're going to save that for parts, but we have to add on to the all these hoses here that run. There's a small hydraulic cylinder on that box right there that transfers the spreader from spread to, which we put a spread plate on right there, spread to nurse. There's a hydraulic cylinder in that, or actually it's a hydraulic motor in that box that turns the boom, and then there's another hydraulic cylinder up on the boom right there to raise the boom up and out of the tank. So that's what the little 12-volt hydraulic system is used for, is to run them three functions, I guess it is. And the hydraulic motor that's on the fan there is run by the hydraulics off the truck. So
we'll get everything moved up into that cabinet there. Well, with that being said, folks, thanks for watching. Drop me a comment down below, and we will catch you at the next video.